Hi, welcome. My name is Linda Adams. I'm the dietitian with the Bariatric and Metabolic Health Center. We're doing a grocery store tour today at Publix, so I want to welcome you. I wish you could be here with us, but considering that we're being cautioned with all the COVID precautions, we're going to video this so that you can see and have an idea of what's healthy to eat. We're going to be talking about foods that are good for people who want to lose weight and for bariatrics. So, we're going to go over a lot of products. You're going to learn some new things, and it will help you make better choices. Ideally, we want to pick fresh, real foods, clean foods, foods that are made in their natural state. They're going to have less additives and salts and processed items, chemicals that we want to avoid. But we know we can't always do that, so I am going to go over some products that are processed that you can eat, but try to limit them as much as you can and try to eat more real whole foods. For example, fresh meats, fresh vegetables and fruits. You can buy chicken, cook it, cut it up in pieces, freeze it so that then you can take it out later to put in salads or wraps, rather than always buying the ready-made stuff in the store that again will have additives, extra sodium, is more processed. Fresh salads and vegetables are always healthy, but sometimes we can't get that, it's not available, so frozen would be the next choice. If you have to do canned, pick the low sodium because it is going to be higher in salt. I will talk about some foods that are higher in carbs, so you can use them. Just make sure you're tracking your carbs and limit the amount you use, but there are some healthy higher carb foods that we can add in our diet, like beans and oatmeal and things like that. We just have to make sure and watch our portions and our amounts. I also wanted to talk about, healthier choices in general. Fruits and vegetables, if you can do organic, that's best because a lot of times they have pesticides and that is not healthy for our body. If you want to look it up, there's a list online of best foods to choose for fruits and vegetables that you would want to be organic, and then the ones that you wouldn't need to. We're also going to talk about a food label. It's very important to look at the serving size. If you're trying to watch your salt, you want it to be under 2,400 milligrams a day. If you're doing low cholesterol, that would be under 300 milligrams a day. Low fat would be less than 3 grams per serving of an item, and low saturated fat would be less than 1.5 grams per serving. And we will review a food label as part of this tour today. Hi everyone, we're here today to do the grocery store tour. I sure do miss having everybody here, but I'm going to do my best to show you some new exciting products and give you some good information, and then we're going to post all the information in a handout that's available for you too. So let's get started. We're going to have fun.
All right.
First stop is the deli. We're going to talk about some packaged things and the deli counter and some products near the deli. So they have a lot of pre-made salads with protein and veggies that are low carb. You can see in the picture, a lot of those are awesome. Salmon, chicken, veggies and fruit, all really good choices. If you want easier to prepare things, they have meats in packages like the pork and the chicken, smoked chicken legs. Those are all good. You want to avoid the ones with the pasta though, or give that to someone in the family. If you want, they have already made hard-boiled eggs, pre-made chicken salads that are great. So that would be helpful. Okay, let's go over and see the hummus section. We do have fresh ground peanut butter with no additives, just the peanuts. So if you want something like that, that's a good choice. Okay. They've got a lot of different hummus here. They've actually got chickpea hummus, black bean hummus, edamame hummus, which is high in protein, soy protein. And we've got guacamole, which is a great choice. avocado dips. So like cashew and almond avocado. So to give you some ideas for something different. And you could use your low carb wisps or Parmesan chips for that, to eat with the guacamole or the hummus or salsa. And that would give you that crunch. You could also do low carb tortilla chips with that. Would be a good idea. Okay. Next we have cheeses. A lot of these are the hard cheeses. They're not, this section's not typically going to be low in fat, but you can have some of it. Just be a little more careful if it's immediately post-op. Don't forget they have the wisps here, and they have different flavors of those. They're the hard cheese bites that are low carb, good for your hummus and guacamole. Okay. In here, you know, like if you want some pre-made meat and cheese roll-ups, they have the prosciutto with cheese. You could do those. Try to look for salami and ham, pork products that are nitrate-free. We know the nitrates aren't very good for us, so there's a lot of products that I'm going to have on the list you can do that are nitrate-free. Here's a great new thing we found. These are cheese wraps. High protein, low carb. There's the nutritionals on the back. These ones are cheddar and they have the Parmesan. So there's only one carb, so it's a great thing you could use for a meal. You know, wrap some meat in there and you can have it for a meal or a snack. They also have these products called crepini's. They're made with eggs. Some of them have cauliflower. They're good to use. They're very thin, but you can wrap meat in that and eat those. There's no carbs to them. There's only 8 calories. And then you'll see over at the deli counter, the Boar's Head lunch meat. They have 19 products that are nitrate free. So you just want to talk to the deli people and ask them what they have that's nitrate free. They've got a lot of new ideas for low carb wraps. This one is called Joseph's Multigrain Lavash Bread. It's a really good thing to try. It's big, so you would get probably 3 or 4 meals out of this. You can see it's very low carb, high in fiber, and it would give you something to eat in place of bread. You could put chicken salad, egg salad in there. You could put grilled chicken strips with maybe some salsa or hummus. You know, that could be for a lunch or a dinner. We've got lots of choices for low carb wraps. So Flat Out is one brand, light Italian herb wrap, low carb. Flat Out carb countdown ones, olive oil and sea salt. And for a lot of people, you know, this might be 2 meals with your meat in there. Okay. This is another brand of low carb wrap. And they're all marked really well, so you'll know they're low carb or carb countdown. You know, this is a big wrap, so usually they'll get several meals out of that. Sorry about that. Good. Okay. And, okay. All right, so the reason we want the nitrate-free lunch meats is because we feel nitrates can be contributing to colon cancer. So it's really not good for anybody. So for all of us, we want to do those nitrate-free lunch meats. Okay, let's move on, guys. We're moving next to the meat section where you're going to see the meat and the seafood. It's usually against the back wall of the Publix store. Turkey pepperoni is a good option. Instead of regular protein, a little healthier, less fat. See that on the video. For your meats, you know, you don't want to do the skin on the chicken. For ground chicken and ground turkey, you want it to be the lean, the chicken breast that's ground in there. So, you know, they have the chicken breast here. You'll see here they have like turkey sausage, and you know, they're not adding any preservatives or antibiotics. No nitrates, so that's good. Okay. And there's several varieties of those. They even have one that's called broccoli raw turkey sausage or an apple maple. So that's good. You can buy turkey breast strips that are flavored. This one's sweet and smoky. There's a tomato basil, olive oil, and herbs. So that instead of just having that plain taste of turkey, you've got some flavoring in there. Tenderloins, like turkey tenderloin, are really good and healthy. They don't take long to cook, really high in protein, and they have some that are marinated. If you're going to choose pork, you want lean cuts of pork. Trim the fat all off of it. Most of our meats, they're making pretty lean these days, but you do want to trim the fat and the skin off. Ground turkey, you know, they have the organic ground turkey if you want. They also have just the regular ground turkey where you can see it's 85% lean, only 15% fat. That would be a good choice because early out after surgery, if it's too high in fat, it could bother you. If you want stuff that's like boneless and skinless, you know, they'll have chicken and turkey packaged like that. They even have little fillets or strips that you can do to make it easier. So those are options as well. They also have some prepared meals for people if you don't want to have to cook. So, like this one is chicken with peppers, and it, you know, they do have some carb in here, but you could skip doing the carbs and just do the meat and the seasonings. So that's some ideas. The seafood case is great if you like sushi or just the fish or the scallops or the lobster. All seafood's really high in protein, so you see they have some fresh stuff here. You know, and you can buy your fish or your shrimp, or all really good choices. These are really nice because these are individually wrapped. So it's one serving. It's usually 4 ounces of the fish. Vacuum sealed, so if you just want to cook 1 or 2, usually you can just bake them in the oven for 30 minutes. They're pretty quick to make. So they have cod, they have salmon, mahi-mahi, swordfish. So, you know, and they don't have the breading on them, so that's good. Shrimp rings are always nice, lots of protein. Just defrost it. You can use it for a snack or throw it in your salad or make it with a meal with some steamed vegetables. A good choice. Low carb, high protein. Cereal aisle and some of the different kind of milks like almond or soy milk. So we're going to talk about a couple options here. All of the granola bars are too high in carb and sugar, so you really want to avoid them. They don't really have any in the store that are low carb. Oatmeal, the best to pick is the steel cut oats that they have in the oatmeal section. If not that, then the 100% rolled oats that you cook, because they're going to be the highest fiber and have the most nutrition. So Quaker does have some protein oatmeals. They are going to still be a little higher in carbs, so you can do them occasionally, but you don't want to do them all the time because they're pretty high in carbs. I usually tell people try, if you're going to do it, you'll maybe do a half a cup of steel cut oats. It'll come out to about 24 grams of net carb. It has 4 grams of fiber. And if you throw some seeds in there, like flax or chia, it'll add some protein. Throw some nuts in there. Yes, it's a little higher carb, but it's not something you're going to do every day, and it is a healthy choice. As far as the cereals go, they're all really high carb. Most of them have added sugars, so they're really not a bariatric friendly choice. So even if they say high protein and you look on them, they're still pretty high in carb. So we pretty much avoid the cereals as much as we can. You can get online low carb granolas and some low carb cereals from K's Naturals, and those would be better choices. So in this aisle we have the packaged cheeses and some of the shredded cheeses, cheese sticks. Things like the Baby Bell Lights are really good.
I love those.
A lot of good looks, like string cheese. You can do full fat, but you know, they have the reduced fat, or it'll say 2% or reduced fat cheese sticks, which are good. And there's different varieties. Sargento has the light string cheese made from mozzarella, and the reduced fat Colby Jack. I know that the keto craze is full fat, but dairy fats are very saturated like cheese, so I think the reduced fat option is a healthier choice, unless you're only having one piece once in a while. Cabot cheeses, if you want to buy block cheeses, they have the regular and then they have the light cheese with less fat. The light cheddar you could do, that's an option. As far as the shredded cheeses go, the only ones that would be lower fat would be the part skim mozzarella that's shredded. That would be, you know, something like that. So you can do the full fat shredded cheese. It's just if you eat a lot of it, you especially bypass patients, if it's very high fat, it could give you some dumping. These are really good for chicken sausages. They have all kinds of flavors like roasted pepper, sweet apple, and they are nitrate free. You know, you can get uncured bacon and turkey bacon that's without nitrates. You get regular bacon here. See, uncured, which means no nitrates, no sugar. So those are good options. I really like these hot dogs. Even though they're turkey hot dogs, they taste like regular hot dogs. There's no nitrates in them. They've got, you know, good meat in them. They're not super high fat. This is something you could try. They do have the beef option if you want that as well. Okay, so there's several brands of nitrate-free packaged lunch meats like Hillshire Farm, Oscar Mayer, you know, and on it they'll say no nitrates or all natural, no preservatives, no nitrates, so that's what you want for a healthier meat. Lunch meats are going to be higher in sodium, but you know, you want to make sure you don't get the nitrates when you buy them. Natural Choice is another brand. Like I said, the Oscar Mayer Naturals. So, I mean, it's always best if you can make your own and eat it, but you know, we also need quick and easy options, so these would be low-carb, healthy options for protein. Applegate has a big line of turkey breasts, chicken breasts, ham. These are all nitrate-free. Uncured pepperoni. The uncured prosciutto with cheese. So these are a lot of good choices. So, we mentioned the Applegate hot dogs. You know, Oscar Mayer has nitrate-free hot dogs, and Hebrew Natural. These aren't necessarily going to be low fat, so the turkey hot dogs are a better choice. And hot dogs do have fillers in them, so they're not, you know, something you want to eat all the time, but for something quick and easy, you can do that. And they have the Jennie-O turkey hot dogs as well. P3s is a quick and easy snack. So it usually has meat and cheese and maybe nuts or sometimes a little fruit like cranberries. So, you know, if you needed something to put in your lunchbox, these would work. Sargento Balance Breaks, a lot of people like these. They are higher in sugar usually because of if they have raisins or cranberries in them. So you could opt not to eat that part of them and just eat the cheese and the nuts, or just eat a little bit of the fruit in there. Applegate has this little snack where it's got salami and cheese. It's got some nuts and some dark chocolate. So that would be a great snack to take with you.
Sounds good.
Yes. So you can show them these. Greenwise has these packaged chicken strips. Some of them are seasoned to give them some flavor. You can throw that in your salad.
You want me to show these too?
This is another brand for chicken strips that you can put in your salad. No preservatives or nitrates in here. Purdue has their whole line of chicken strips, and there's no nitrates in there either. So, you know, they're going to be a little higher sodium because they've been processed, but if you need something quick and easy, you know, you can do this some of the time when you don't have time to be cooking. And they have turkey breast as well. If you want to do ham, it's definitely going to be higher fat and sodium, but there are products like this one that don't have any nitrates in them. So I wouldn't do them that often, but you certainly can use them. If you like pickles, Bubby's pickles are fermented, so that's really good for our GI tract. So they have sauerkraut as well. It'll be here with the packaged lunch meats in jars. Otherwise, if you just buy regular sauerkraut or pickles, they're not fermented. This is a favorite snack of Dr. Rao's, these little pickle bites. They're right next to the pickles here in this same section where the packaged lunch meats are. So it's great because it gives you some crunch, you know, to eat on the side or put it in your wrap with your meat and cheese. You know, just give it some additional flavor. So in the juice section, most juices are high in sugar or have added sugar. The natural sugar would be from fructose or the fruit. So you pretty much want to stay away from their low fiber, too much carb and sugar. But they do have things like diet cranberry juice. So you could do something like that. That would be acceptable. Usually in the aisle where the juices are, you'll see the sports drinks like Gatorade or Powerade. The G2 does have sugar in it, so you really want to do the Gatorade Zero or the Powerade Zero for your choices.
Oh, not the G2.
Zero. Yes.
Zero.
Yeah, so like the
Zero.
or these. Okay. Another one. Or like Powerade Zero.
Zero.
Okay. Odd place, but they do put muscle milk in this aisle where the Gatorade is. I'm not sure why, but you could do the muscle milk protein drinks. And the Core Power protein drinks. Okay.
Go.
So this aisle is the pasta sauce and the pastas. I want to talk about that a little bit. Pasta is traditionally high carb. You can have it occasionally a little bit, and I'll show you a couple products that are better to use. As far as pasta sauce, a lot of them have added sugar. So Rao's homemade pasta sauce is pretty low in sugar. You could do
What
that.
a coincidence.
Yes. There's the
That's funny.
And there is a pizza sauce. See the Rao's pizza
Any
sauce?
of these? That was not planned.
And Rao's pizza sauce as well is a good one. Grated Parmesan cheese is good for flavor. It's high protein, pretty low carb. So you certainly could buy it in a block and grate it yourself, or you can buy something like that. You know, you could throw it in your wraps. You can put it in a salad. You know, it gives a lot of flavor to things. Also in this aisle is canned vegetables. Fresh and frozen are the best. They have the most nutrition and the least sodium. So if you're going to do canned vegetables, get a low sodium canned vegetable so you're not filling up with a lot of salt. If you wanted to do some pasta, I would suggest trying the Barilla Plus pasta. It's higher in protein. It still has a fair amount of carb, but it's higher in protein. So for example, 2 ounces is 190 calories, 10 protein, 33 carbs minus the fiber. So, you know, a small portion, and you're still going to get a lot of carbs. You know, count that. That would be your total for the day. Barilla has chickpea and lentil pasta. It's going to still have a fair amount of carb, but it'd be a healthier choice. For example, the red lentil has 180 calories, about 28 grams of carb, 13 grams of protein, so you are getting a lot of protein. So these kind of products you can eat occasionally, you just don't want to eat a lot of because of the carb content of them. We just found a new product here today. Organic edamame and mung bean fettuccine.
That sounds good.
So actually, it's only got 6 grams of carbs. You subtract the fiber out. 24 grams of protein. 180 calories. So
wow, I'm gonna
we'll have to try it and see what we think.
I think I'm gonna get that.
In this aisle is rice and beans and peas. Rice does have a lot of carb. If you're going to eat it, you want it to be brown rice and keep the portions small. You know, a quarter cup has 15 grams of carb. And your beans and peas are healthy. They've got a lot of fiber, but they are higher in carbs, so you just don't want to be eating them every day. But a chili with some beans in it or a bean soup is certainly healthy. Okay, so in this same aisle is the taco shells, and there's more wraps or tortilla wraps. So we have quite a few to pick from here. Old Mexican Foods has an extreme wellness wrap. High fiber spinach and herb. They have a tomato basil, carb lean, so it's going to be lower carb. You can look at your numbers there. And then they have a regular, just a regular wheat one. It's going to be a little higher in carb, but not too bad. We have Mission brand carb balance wraps. They have regular whole wheat, spinach and herb. Let you look at that one. But, the small ones, which are really nice, like the mini ones. This is a whole wheat one. La Banderina's another brand, low carb wrap. Whole wheat and regular flour.